Hi guys, and welcome back to another fly fishing video. So today Ian and I have returned to Farmoor Reservoir and we're going to have a look at one of the most overlooked items in regards to loch style fishing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Then I want to show you the importance of using a drogue, what it is, how to set it up and how to get the best out of it. Hopefully Ian and I will catch a few fish while we're here, and as ever we will be sharing the tactics and the fly patterns with you. A drogue is basically a water parachute for want of a better description, and is meant to slow the boat so you have better control of your fly lines here to the flies. It can be used to prevent the boat from crabbing, which can give an advantage to one angler over the other, but more on that later in the video. Back in the day then I used to make my own drogues, but now there is a multitude of companies making drogues specifically for loch style fly fishing. I am still using this drogue. It's one I designed for Witchwood some years ago, and the reason I like it so much is after a long day's fishing, the last thing I want to be doing is folding and packing a drogue into a specific pouch. With this one you simply stuff it into its own sack, which is attached to the drogue itself. This negates the chances of you misplacing or losing the bag. Until recently then I used to use G-clamps. These are quite heavy. I've drilled holes in each one and added a carabiner which I would attach my drogue rope to. But just recently I fished with a guy called Dave Ogg up in Rutland and he showed me these. Now they're a Velcro strap and I'm going to show you how we're going to use them today to hold our drogue. They're much lighter, less cumbersome. I'm all about losing weight nowadays, just not round my middle. The rules concerning drogues as regards competition are on the TEF website, and I will read paragraph 15 concerning drogues. A single unweighted drogue is permitted of no more than 60 by 60 inches or 25 square feet. It may be fitted with functional metal fittings such as small link rings and swivels. The only control device allowed is 1 or 2 G-clamps. The drogue may be fixed on either side of the boat such that the drift is square to the wind. The drogue must trail no more than 15 feet behind the boat and may be attached at 1 or 2 points, subject to local fishery rules. Drogues may be towed when moving between drifts or taken out of the water, again subject to local fishery rules. Note, the drogues must not be used to anchor the boat by allowing it to snag on underwater obstacles such as tree stumps, rocks, weed beds, buoys, stone walls and embankments. Upon returning up adrift, no fishing will take place until the engine has been cut and the drogue, if in use, is set and the boat has stopped its forward momentum. So for many years I've lugged round 2 of these G-clamps, and I've got to say, now that the wind's got up a little bit, I've seen that the straps can hold pretty much anything, and I'll be moving over to them very soon. I got them from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description of the video if you want to check them out, but definitely worth considering. Well, there's 3 main ways of attaching your drogue to a boat. A single fixed point, usually around a rollock or the centre thwartboard. Number 2 then is 2 fixed points using G-clamps or Velcro straps. And number 3, which is my preferred method, a running drogue which allows easy adjustment to the drift. So what is crabbing? It is when the boat is moving diagonally across the wind. This problem can be twofold. On a busy fishery, you may find yourself fouling other anglers' drifts by crabbing in front of them. The other reason is that one angler will get a large bow in their line, arcing away from the boat. This gives an advantage to the angler, as this can be very enticing to trout. There is a good reason the rudder fishermen catch so many fish. Your boat partner's line will be arcing into the middle of the boat. This is an issue if you have a following trout and you come to hang your flies. The boat can often spook the fish, causing a missed opportunity. Now, the last time Ian and I came here, Ian insisted that we back drift all day. I didn't like it, but you know, he is an elder statesman, so to speak, so I stuck to his plan and we did catch a lot of fish. But today we're fishing out the front of the boat because I wanted to make a video about drifting boats. So Ian, what have you set up to try and entice the trout today?
I started off with the bung on a nice floating line. I'm afraid I have to admit I had a squirmy worm on at the beginning, and I also had a very small blob. Unfortunately, had very little action on the first 15-20 minutes. Then I switched to a booby on the point, and over a period of about 10 minutes I think I had 2 or 3 takes. Didn't get any to the boat, but they were just takes, and hopefully it's going to buck up in the next 10 or 20 minutes.
Well, so far so good. If you're enjoying the videos, folks, please don't forget to give them a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate your support. It signals to YouTube that you're enjoying the content I'm making and encourages me to make more videos. So anyway, let's jump straight back in. So I've set up with my usual farm moor fare. I've got a DI5 Expert on, which is pretty much a front-loaded DI5 with a running line. I've got a 12-foot leader and I've put a white snake on. Now, we are coming up to a really good part of the reservoir. This is one of my favourite drifts. We're going alongside one of the old observation towers, which is generally a good landmark on Farmoor for fish. The fishing has been difficult here, and the bailiff warned us before we came out that it might be a tough old day. And with the sun bright and high in the sky, I could well agree with him. The fishing's been tricky, the back end so far, but I have got a feeling today that we are going to get some sport. So let's get to it and see if we can't show you some fish. Unfortunately, my optimism was ill-founded, and despite a good drift taking a couple of fish deep, that was the last of my sport for the day. Ian, after an encouraging start, did manage another fish to the boat before we called it a day. Thankfully, this video was about using a drogue and not how to catch more fish. I feel the fishing is right on the cusp of becoming really good, just not today. I worked out that from my last 8 trips afloat, I have only managed 14 fish, including one day where I could not even manage 1 fish. I think the unusual weather has had a lot to do with it, and I live in hope for a return to normality next year. I have one more trip planned to Draycott, and then that will be my boat fishing over for the year. Here's hoping the grayling play ball. Ian and I still had a great day afloat, plenty of banter and a few fish for the pot. What more can you ask? Well, we've been fishing for a couple of hours now and we've managed to get a couple of fish to the boat, but it's not been easy, not like our previous trips. We've had to work really hard. Now I've picked up 2 fish on really fast sunk lines, counting down 20 seconds, then mixing my retrieve up with roly-poly, figure of 8, long pools, and that's brought me a couple of fish. Now Ian's toiled away on a DI5. I don't think he's getting deep enough, but he's a stubborn old and he refuses to change. So we're doing this drift one more time. It's not been great, but the wind's picked up a little and the drogue's doing a great job. So earlier on we spoke about crabbing. Now when the boat crabs, if I move the rope towards Ian, I'll get a big bow in my line and I'll be at an advantage. Now if I push the drogue towards myself, Ian will get that bow wave. But what you want in a drifting boat, to be fair to both anglers, if you were fishing floating lines, you would cast out and you could fish them back and they would come back straight, and that's the sweet spot you want to get with a drogue. Now if you're in competition, you've got to be alive to the fact that other anglers will push the rules to the limits, and you need to really be watching out for that. Don't get caught out. Make sure you're getting a straight and fair drift.